This section will cover some of the various displays that you will need to navigate when working in Patch in the EOS. So let's go ahead and go into the Patch display on the EOS. I will push Displays and my soft key for Patch. One of the things that we want to bring to your attention is that the Patch display will open up in two places on the console, each having different functionality. The CIA is actually going to be your primary interface into Patch on the desk, and the external monitor will open up a Patch display in my next available tab on my external display. In this case, it's tab number 3. So a lot of the summary information that I'm looking at in Patch is on the external display, but all of my actions that I'm doing in Patch are going to be on the CIA. So just bear that in mind when you're working in Patch. But what we want to do right now is just cover kind of what everything is and where you can find information in Patch, and we cover patching in later sections. Let's first look at the CIA specifically, because there's going to be some things you want to know about this. By default, the CIA is going to give you various fields that you'll be editing, things like channel, address, type, label. Anytime you're looking at editing a piece of information about a channel, it will be there in the CIA, and you simply touch the area that you want to edit and type in the new value. The left-hand side of the Patch display will show context-sensitive information, whether you're looking at a library or looking at some other things, and we'll be covering that. But the Patch display in the CIA is a very critical place to be. Now, the soft keys in the CIA portion of Patch will actually show you different columns in your Patch display on the external. So these are also like sub-tabs of your Patch tab that opens up on your external display. And I'm going to go over some of those right now briefly. The one that opens up by default is a tab called Patch, and that's just the generic columns that show up on my external monitor that show me things like the channel, the address, the type of device that it is, the label, and other relevant information. Now, while I'm in this, I have the option of formatting this. If you are used to patching by address or by channel, you can push Format to swap between channel and address being the primary sort function. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, to view other information that is associated with each of my channels, I can go to my CIA and go from Patch to the Attribute soft key. That will then repage my external display and give me additional columns to look at. Things like preheat, proportion, and curve on any dimmer channel that I have, or other parameters that may have been assigned, like a specific scroll that is loaded into a scroller. And the final soft key in the CIA that relates to displays is the database key, and we'll cover that in a little bit more detail later on. Something else to remember about your Patch display is that once you have everything patched, you can use Flexi to go into a state where you're only looking at your patched channels, so you don't have a bunch of extra channels showing up. But do keep in mind that if you go into Flexi and you're looking at patched channels, that you're not going to see all of your channels. So when you come back into Patch and you're looking for a channel, just remember to look in the upper right-hand corner to see if you happen to be in a Flexi mode. And if you are, you can just simply step out of the Flexi mode so that you can see all of your channels at once again. And that is the general overview of the information that will be on your displays related to Patch on the EOS.